On this virtual tour stop, we are standing in another phase of the kind of adaptation of the Shelterwood and burn approach that's being practiced on this site here in the Piedmont of North Carolina. So again, the objective of this Shelterwood and burn approach is to regenerate upland oaks. So you've seen on previous stops that there was an initial cut that dropped the stand down from about 150 square feet of basal area down to about 80 or 90, with the hopes that putting some sunlight on the forest floor, but not too much sunlight on the forest floor, would promote basically the development of oak seedlings about that size up into more competitive sizes, kind of drive it towards advanced regeneration. They did that in this stand a number of years ago. They then tried to further kind of improve the ratio of oak regeneration to less fire tolerant species like yellow poplar and sweet gum and red maple by conducting a couple of understory burns in here. Once the consultant got it to a point where they felt like they had a nice balance of oak regeneration of competitive size to the other species, they felt that it was time to take a little bit more of the overstory off and release that competitive oak regeneration. So the kind of that second rule of oak regeneration. So I actually had the opportunity to see this site prior to this harvest, and I can tell you it was some of the finest oak regeneration that I've ever seen. Actually, it was quite beautiful. But they came in and decided to reduce the basal area down to about 50 or 60 square feet of residual. So if you were to look around, again, this is a kind of a 360 video. You can take a look of what 50 to 60 square feet of residual overstory basal area looks like. This is pretty much it in this stand. So these are reserve trees, so it's kind of a Shelterwood with reserves approach. They do not plan on coming back in and ever taking this overstory off. These will be retained. And if we want to look down at our regeneration pool, what I can tell you is things like this oak right here, this white oak, that's coming off of a nice rootstock. So that's just been smashed during the harvesting process, but it's sprouting back. But what I would also want to draw your attention to, so that I can be honest here, is we still do see some yellow poplar coming back. We have plenty of sweet gum that survived that harvest. That one just didn't get smashed, but we have others that are sprouting back from the base, as you would expect. So I guess time will tell to see how this thing regenerates and how it develops into the future, but this is kind of the end of the road as far as the kind of Shelterwood and burn approach is being practiced on this particular site. They may come in and do another prescribed burn later on if they're not happy with what they see in a couple of years as far as the regeneration response, but as it sits, this is kind of where they want to go with it. So hope you enjoy. I would encourage you to take a minute or two to look around, and I'll shut off the video in about 10 seconds.